In the vast universe of cinema, some films explode onto the scene like supernovas, burning brightly in the box office and award circuits. Others are quieter constellations, waiting patiently in the cinematic night sky, their brilliance only truly visible to those who take the time to look closer. Today, we journey into that deeper sky, to explore a film that has only grown more potent, more prescient, and more powerful with time. It's a story that asks a devastating question. What if the world's last child had already been born? This is the harrowing, hopeful, and technically masterful world of Alfonso Cuarón's 2006 dystopian thriller, Children of Men. Our story plunges us headfirst into the year 2027. The world is not one of flying cars or gleaming chrome, but of grit, grime, and grieving. Humanity has been afflicted by a global infertility crisis for 18 years, and the social fabric has completely unraveled. Without the promise of a future, the world has descended into nihilism, chaos, and war. The United Kingdom stands as one of the last bastions of a so-called civilized society. But it has achieved this status by becoming a brutal, militarized police state, hunting down and caging illegal immigrants in squalid camps. It is a world bleached of color and joy, where the ambient noise is a mixture of distant explosions, panicked news reports, and the profound silence of empty playgrounds. Into this bleak landscape shuffles our protagonist, Theo Faron. He's a former activist who has long since traded his ideals for the numb comfort of a bureaucratic desk job and a morning whiskey. He is a ghost walking through a dying world, haunted by personal tragedy and insulated by a thick shell of cynicism. His daily routine is a portrait of apathy, until a ghost from his past reappears. His estranged wife, Julian Taylor, leader of an immigrant rights group branded as terrorists, kidnaps him and offers a handsome sum of money for a simple task: use his government connections to secure transit papers for a young refugee. This single request is the spark that ignites the narrative. Theo reluctantly agrees. The refugee is a young woman named Key, and the journey to the coast is meant to be swift. But in this fractured world, nothing is simple. In a shocking single-take sequence that leaves the audience breathless, their car is ambushed, and Julian is killed in a spray of gunfire. Suddenly, Theo is no longer a detached facilitator. He is the unwilling guardian of this young woman, thrust into a world of violence and conspiracy he thought he had left behind. The stakes are raised to an impossible degree when he discovers Key's secret, the reason she is so fiercely protected. She is miraculously, inexplicably pregnant. She carries the first child to be conceived in nearly 2 decades, a fragile spark in an ocean of darkness. The plot transforms from a simple escort mission into a desperate pilgrimage. Theo, Key, and their companion Miriam must navigate a treacherous landscape of militant factions, a paranoid government, and a populace teetering on the verge of total collapse. Their only hope is to reach a mythical group of scientists known as the Human Project, rumored to have a ship waiting off the coast. Their journey leads them to Theo's old friend Jasper Palmer, a reclusive, pot-growing cartoonist living in the woods. Jasper provides a brief, warm respite of humanity and humor amidst the despair, a reminder of the world that was lost. But the sanctuary is short-lived, and the trio is forced back on the run, their path leading them directly into the heart of the darkness, the Bexhill refugee camp, a full-blown war zone where refugees and the British Army are locked in brutal urban combat. The climax of the film is not a battle of good versus evil, but a harrowing fight for the survival of a single, nascent life. As Theo guides Key through the apocalyptic chaos of a bombed-out apartment building, she gives birth to a baby girl. In the film's most transcendent and unforgettable scene, the sound of the newborn's cry cuts through the cacophony of war. For a few miraculous moments, the soldiers on both sides stop fighting. They stare in stunned silence and reverent awe at the impossible sight of new life. It is a fleeting truce, a shared moment of grace in a godless world. This moment encapsulates the film's central theme. Hope is not a passive feeling, but a radical, defiant act that must be fought for, tooth and nail. The story concludes on a note of profound ambiguity, leaving us to wonder if this single child can truly save the world, but affirming that the fight for that possibility is the only thing that has ever mattered. But the story's power isn't just in its plot. It's in the people who inhabit this broken world, each one a masterclass in characterization. At the center is Theo Faron, brought to life with weary soulfulness by Clive Owen. Theo's transformation is the film's emotional core. We meet him as a man so disconnected from the world that he barely flinches when a bomb detonates just feet away. He is the embodiment of a world that has given up. Yet, as he is forced to protect Key, we witness the slow, painful erosion of his cynicism. His journey is not about becoming a traditional hero. It's about rediscovering his own humanity. It's in the small moments, the way he comforts Key, his quiet grief for his friends, and the final, desperate look in his eyes, that we see a man choosing to care again, even if it costs him everything. Then there is Key, portrayed with fierce vulnerability by the then unknown Claire Hope Ashiti. She is far from a passive vessel of hope. She is a survivor, sarcastic, scared, and often defiant. She is not a saintly figure, but a real young woman burdened with an unimaginable responsibility. Her grounded performance ensures that the symbol of hope she represents never feels abstract. She is the future, and she is terrified, yet she moves forward with a resilience that is both inspiring and heartbreaking. Perhaps the most beloved character is Jasper Palmer, played with effortless charm by Michael Caine. Jasper is the film's conscience and its comic relief. Living in seclusion with his catatonic wife, he represents a stubborn refusal to surrender to despair. He is a warm, witty beacon of light, whose stories and jokes provide precious moments of levity. His "pull my finger" gag is a perfect, silly piece of humanity in an inhuman time. But his warmth conceals a core of steel. His ultimate sacrifice, made to ensure Theo and Key can escape, is one of the film's most poignant and powerful moments. A final act of love for a friend and for a future he will never see. Even the supporting characters leave an indelible mark. Julianne Moore as Julianne Taylor is on screen for only a few minutes, but her passionate idealism is the catalyst for the entire story. Pam Ferris as Miriam serves as a maternal, grounding force. Her quiet strength and deep empathy a constant source of comfort on the perilous journey. Each character, no matter how small their role, feels like a fully realized person shaped by 18 years of loss, making the world of Children of Men feel terrifyingly real. Beyond the gripping narrative and unforgettable characters lies a layer of filmmaking genius that has cemented this film's place in cinematic history. Prepare to have your perspective shifted as we uncover 5 fascinating facts about its creation. First, the legendary long takes. Children of Men is famous for its extended, single-shot sequences that immerse the viewer directly into the action. The most celebrated are the car ambush and the final battle. To capture the car scene, the crew developed a revolutionary camera rig that allowed the camera to move 360 degrees inside a specially modified vehicle. The final battle sequence, an astonishing 8-minute take through active combat, required 14 days to block and shoot. These aren't just technical gimmicks. They create a visceral, documentary-style reality, forcing the audience to experience the chaos and terror alongside the characters, with no cuts to offer escape. Second, the character of Jasper was deeply personal. Michael Caine based his performance on his own experiences during the 1960s and on his friend John Lennon. He imagined Jasper as an old, aging hippie who had never lost his spirit. The famous "pull my finger" line was actually an improvisation by Caine, a perfect, unscripted moment of levity that Alfonso Cuarón wisely decided to keep, adding an extra layer of authenticity and warmth to the character. Third, one of the film's most iconic shots was a complete accident. During the final, chaotic battle sequence, a drop of what appears to be blood splatters onto the camera lens and remains there for a significant portion of the shot. This was not planned. When it happened, the cinematographer Emanuel Lubetsky yelled "cut," but Cuarón, recognizing the raw power of the moment, yelled back, "Don't cut." The mistake became a stroke of genius, a visceral reminder to the audience that they are not passive observers, but witnesses thrust directly into the heart of the conflict. Fourth, the world building is a masterclass in subtlety. The filmmakers didn't rely on heavy exposition to explain the state of the world. Instead, they filled every frame with rich, telling details. Pay close attention to the backgrounds. You'll see newspaper clippings taped to windows detailing ecological disasters and refugee crises, graffiti that screams of political dissent, and haunting advertisements for government-sponsored suicide kits called quietus. This meticulous attention to detail makes the world feel terrifyingly plausible and lived in, a future that feels like a chilling extension of our present. Fifth, the film contains a clever musical and visual homage to the band Pink Floyd. The final sequence in the Bexhill refugee camp features a giant inflatable pig floating between the buildings, a direct reference to the cover of Pink Floyd's 1977 album, Animals. The album is a scathing critique of social and political decay, making the visual nod a perfect thematic fit. Furthermore, Jasper's poignant last scene is underscored by the song "Pigs on the Wing," a track from that very same album, creating a powerful, layered tribute to a classic piece of protest art. So why, decades after its release, does this film still feel so vital, so urgent? Its legacy is twofold. Cinematically, its innovative use of the long take and its "you are there" documentary style have profoundly influenced a generation of filmmakers, visible in the immersive cinematography of films like 1917 and Birdman. It set a new standard for how to create tension and realism, proving that technical virtuosity could serve deep emotional storytelling. But its thematic legacy is even more potent. Children of Men was released in 2006, yet it feels as if it were made for today. Its depiction of a society wrestling with refugee crises, resurgent nationalism, environmental collapse, and a loss of faith in the future has proven to be hauntingly prophetic. It holds up a dark mirror to our own anxieties, not to wallow in despair, but to serve as a powerful cautionary tale. The film's ultimate message is not one of doom, but of a fierce and fragile hope. It argues that in a world on the brink of collapse, the most radical act of rebellion is to protect, to nurture, and to believe in a future for someone else. It is a timeless and deeply humanistic plea, cementing its status not just as a great film, but as an essential one. Now, the conversation turns to you. We've journeyed through a collapsing world, met characters who chose hope over despair, and uncovered the technical magic behind the screen. We want to know what resonated most with you. Was it the profound character arc of Theo Faron, the cynical man who rediscovers his capacity to care in the face of oblivion? Or perhaps you were moved by the quiet, stubborn humanity of Jasper Palmer, who used humor and love as his weapons against the encroaching darkness. Maybe it was one of the behind-the-scenes facts that deepened your appreciation. Were you amazed by the accidental genius of the blood-splattered lens, or the incredible technical prowess required to pull off those breathtaking long takes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which character's journey did you connect with the most, and why? Or which fascinating fact about the making of this film will you be thinking about long after this video ends? Your perspective is a vital part of the conversation. So let's continue to explore the power of cinema together.